Star, thanks for your time. I appreciate it. Again, I live in Ballard, and I'm just trying to connect the housed and unhoused so people can hear a voice and see a face and know a name.
And not just see it as a homeless drug addict, probably.
Well, again, I don't know you. I don't know your story.
I know. I would just think most of the time, like, when people see a homeless person,
Yes.
they're like, drug addict, fucking, they do all this. And I've met so many that aren't even drug addicts.
Right. Yeah, exactly. They have this stereotype, this narrative already preconceived in their head. And so I'm trying to dismantle that. So Star, tell me about yourself. Where were you born and raised?
I was born in Everett on August 9th, 2003. I was raised in Everett a little bit, but my grandma's house was in Lake Stevens, and I kind of flip-flopped from being at my grandma's house like every week, every other weekend, you know, and being like with all the other people I lived with, I guess.
And did you have siblings growing up?
No,
Just you?
pretty much.
And you said you were with your the traffic's a little loud behind me, so, and you're talking very soft.
Okay, I have a tendency to do that. I'll raise my voice. Okay.
And you said you were raised by your grandma?
I was still raised by like my mom, but like my grandma more or less, because my mom was like in and out of like my like childhood my whole life, you know?
And where was she?
Kind of just kicking it in Everett, you know, like she would just kind of like disappear for like a little bit, pop back up. It could be 2 days, could be a month, could be 3 weeks, doesn't matter.
But as a kid, you remember that.
Yeah.
And what was that like for you?
Realistically, it caused like a lot of like self like problems and like image problems, because it was like I remember being like I remember like I was 8 or something like that. I'm pretty sure I was like 7 when like I had this thought, and like I was like wondering like I came back from school and all my friends or whatever were talking about like their parents. It was like a little like project thing, like a Mother's Day project, right? And like I came back because I had no mother to fucking do the project about. And I was like, how come they all get their like parents? So how come I don't get mine? Why don't I get mine? Like what did I do? Why do I deserve that? And then I started thinking like it was me and all that stuff. But now at least I know it isn't my fault.
But as a 7, 8-year-old kid,
I believed that until I was like 16.
Oh yeah, that's a long time to have that narrative in your head.
Yeah. I still even have little traces of it, you know, but I can say that that's gone a little bit better.
And tell me about, was your dad in the picture?
I remember seeing, when I was 16, I remember seeing my dad a total of 5 times, and he didn't really pop up in my life until a little bit later, but yeah. And he popped up for like a couple weeks, and then he went bye-bye again, but.
And when was the last time you interacted with him?
Both of my parents, a really long time.
Oh, both your parents?
My family, like a really long time ago. It's kind of for the better, but they're not good people.
Well, let's talk about, you know, you're 7, 8, 9, 10. You go to high school in Everett?
I attended 1 year of high school, and I stopped attending the school completely. Sucks, but what can you do?
And when you weren't at school, where were you?
Cause this is how I explain.
Okay.
I stayed, I'm from Everett, and I would go to Everett to hang out, but at a certain point, that's not. He's like, go away. Okay. Okay, so I would stay at my grandma's house, and I lived at my grandma's house when my mom like vanished for like actually like a really long time. And so I actually had to live there so that way I had a parental guardian, you know? But like I went to high school in like Stevens. Well, freshman year, there's like a mid-high that's like 7th and it's 8th and 9th grade, right? And then you go to an actual like high school, you
10th,
know?
11th, 12th.
Yeah, I never got to the high school.
Gotcha.
I like actually the 1 year that I would get to go to the high school, I enrolled in alternative school that year. So like I really didn't get to go to the high school, but
So you were living at your grandma's in Lake
Stevens.
Lake Stevens.
Yes.
And then what happened after that? Where does the story go?
I kind of started falling. I already like smoked weed and drank and did all that shit, like vaping, whatever. Like I was already in that crowd, and my whole family was drug addicts, like my whole entire life, and like all my family was like living in like this house with me, you know, like they're all like, from when I was like staying at my grandma's house every weekend to me actually fully living there, like all of my family members had lived there, and like different like fucking people like
So
taking
you
pictures.
family members, like aunts, uncles, cousins, like,
Yeah.
just kind of rotated through your grandma's house.
Yeah, and every single one of them, but their kids, like, were like drug addicts, you know. And it kind of created like a trap house environment, you know. And I kind of, yeah, I don't, I had full access to like drugs all the time, you know. Like I never like touched any like illegal substances for like a really long portion of my life, even though it was right in front of me. I don't know how I did it. And there was a point where getting drunk and having my friends over and partying wasn't like, it started, instead of filling the void that I thought it would fill, it started creating a more deeper, even bigger void, you know? Because like I always had this construct of like, don't be like your parents, don't be like your mom, don't be like da 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 da. And the fact that I was slowly fading into it and I could even feel it, like that was like, it was messing with me. And then I started doing drugs, and obviously running away comes with that. Like I would run away like every single chance that I got, man. Like but I'm only laughing about it because I'm like, god damn, I was so stupid. What the fuck?
Well, I mean, yeah, I think there's an awareness that you're experiencing maybe of like, wow, because you're just like a kid in this environment.
Yeah.
That a kid should not be in.
I had my mom was really like abusive, and my grandma was really like emotionally and mentally abusive. Like because she was really old, she could have never like touched me, you know. But like there were many times where like she like would like physically hurt me for like no reason, and like it got pretty like extreme, like really extreme. And like it would start over like the little stupidest thing, like I remember one time it was because like in the morning when I walked out to go get some food, like there was a clean bowl already on like the counter, and I went up and I grabbed like another bowl, and she just started going off on me, dude. And like I was like, what the fuck did I even do? Like I don't know. And my dad, he was really emotionally abusive too, but like the 3 weeks that I said that he like popped in and then disappeared again, it's because he did some weird things sexually, let's just say that, right? And that's kind of what caused like the downfall of like my life, leading me to this moment right here, right now. It's like, eventually, after I started using, my mom popped back into the picture, and she's obviously a user too, you know, and she, when she found out I did drugs, at first she was like, I don't, like, never ask me for them, I'm never gonna give them to you, none of that. And then one day that all changed, and I was doing drugs with my mom, and she was even like helping me keep little secrets from my grandma, you know. And like, because my grandma like didn't want me to like have like friends over, I was like sneaking friends in through my fucking window, like having parties full on. Like I would have one friend come over, so that way like when she heard like conversating like in the back, like it would seem normal, you know, and blast music and just literally have like 6 people in my fucking room, dude. Like that shit was crazy. One of my friends, like she's like my best friend, like she moved in, you know, and she didn't know that, and I hid her from my grandma for 3 months. Yeah.
So, let's just say your grandma wasn't probably at a place in her life to be a parent.
No, dude, she literally, like, she had like 5 kids, dude. Like, she had my mom when she was like 40 fucking like 5. Like, she was worn and torn, dude. And she wasn't even mentally fit to do that, you know, for like those kids. She didn't like do anything crazy to them, but like she didn't know how to love them, you know.
Care for you guys, yeah. So that doesn't surprise me that you, when you say you ran away from that environment, it's like that kind of makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, after so long of that, my dad, though, definitely, like, kick-started that, you know? Like, it kind of, like, because I remember, like, while it was happening or whatever, I was texting, like, my mom, because I started going into, like, a mental panic, because I realized, like, what he was doing. Because at first, he tried to, like, almost manipulate me to, like, think that, like, he wasn't doing that, and he was, like, getting mad at me at the littlest things and saying shit that made it like to where like I didn't like tell anyone like immediately when it was happening and all this shit. And like he literally like I'm not very easily manipulated, you know. Like I've studied psychology for fun, you know. Like I kind of like know the way the brain works. And like I know how easy it is to be manipulated, but like I've never been able to be manipulated until that moment. I literally fully believed that, like, I was, like, in the wrong for, like, wanting to, like, to feel the way that I felt about it, like, sick to my stomach, and, like, genuinely, like, ugh, like,
How old were you?
I was 14, right? And, then I texted my mom, and I asked her, I was like, Mom, like, out of all the times that I've texted you and, like, you haven't answered, how many times you just, like, ignored my phone calls, like, please, right now, like, I need you to answer, dude, I need you to come here and get me. And, like, I said something like, it's about my dad, right? And then my dad took my phone, and the phone that he got for me, by the way, and, he wouldn't let me use it for shit, and when he did let me use it, he would watch me, right? And he didn't check the messages, like, for whatever reason, and he didn't know that I had already texted my mom. He was trying to get me to not text my mom, or not tell my grandma, like, anything about that. And my mom showed up, in the middle of me and my dad arguing, and he was literally saying, like, if I left, then he's, like, leaving and he's never coming back, right? Like, if you leave right now, like, I'm never gonna come back. Like, this is how you lose me. Like, you say, like, you, like, wanted your dad your whole entire life. If you leave right now, you're going to fucking lose me, and I'm never gonna see you ever again. I promise you, you'll be fucking dead to me. Like, something along those lines, but, like, he said that just to me, and, like, I heard my mom, like, come in through the front door, and she was like, come here, like, you know, fucking, and I was just like, hold on, you wait right here, I'm gonna be back, right, and, I didn't come back, and, after I got in the car with my mom, because my mom parked her car, like, down the street or whatever, so that way my dad didn't, like, see us get in the car or nothing, or my grandma didn't. And while we were, as soon as we like left and we were in the car by then, like he heard my mom's voice and he just got up and he just left. He left all his shit there, everything, like, cause he like knew that like he's fucked, you know, and then I just lived with my mom in her car, because my mom didn't have anywhere to stay, and we were doing drugs together.
Was that your first experience? Sorry. Number one, I'm sorry that happened to you.
It's okay.
I have 2 little girls, and they're everything to me. And I'm sorry your dad was incredibly abusive to you.
It is what it is, man. I appreciate it.
And want to get that out. Number 2, the question is, was that your first time, I guess, being unhoused, was when you went with your mom in that car, or living in the car?
Kind of, because when I started running away to go do whatever I did, like I would leave and I would be like homeless, basically, like outside in Everett. But like it would only be for like couple like days, couple weeks. I'd come back, you know.
Gotcha.
Like I had a little bit of experience with being on the streets, but not really at all, because any chance I wanted to, I could just go home, you know?
Right. You had like home base.
Yeah.
But this time with your mom,
I completely, like, I didn't have a home.
yeah.
We lived in the car.
Around 14, 15 years old?
Yeah.
And how long did you live with your mom in that scenario?
My sense of time was really distorted.
Yeah, sure.
Like, I'm not even gonna lie. Like, yeah, sure, if I sat down and, like, did the math of all this shit, like, I probably could calculate it.
That is a indicator of trauma. Like, that's part of trauma. Your time gets really weird.
Like, I know, dude. Like, it's so crazy.
Yeah.
But, like, it felt like it was like 6 months. But now that I think about it, given math, you know, it was probably like a year. And then my mom fucking still, while I'm living with her, she like we go to like this girl's house that like she's like close family, but like she uses and stuff too, but she's actually like a really good person. Like don't think that she's like a drug addict, no. But she like we go over there to go shower and we're gonna go back, and she's like, hey, can she stay here like while I go do like an errand or two, and like I'll be back in like less than an hour, right? And she leaves and doesn't come back for like a really long time. Right. I forgot that she did that again before. And it was the same scenario. Not like this, what I was just talking about, that was like a girl's like place right over, and like she was like a safe haven, dude. But like she did that a time before at this like dude's place, right? And she like vanished, and like he was like she knew that like there was like rape accusations like from him, but like he like raped like multiple like girls, like, you know. and like he was like just having girls in and out of his house. Like he literally like said that she could come over, and me, like, knowing that I'm her like daughter, could come over as long as she like gave him some sexual favor, right? And then she just left me there. I know, right? But after the fucking after like the girl who I said was like a safe haven, I was staying with her for like 3 months, and then she was going to treatment. And so everyone that was staying there had to leave, and I had nowhere to go, and that's when like that happened, right? Because I went back with my mom, you know, because she popped back up, and I was like, okay, sick, even though it was no. And then she left me there, and then like I was staying at this dude's house, like totally like just I didn't even leave, you know, like when I was staying at that girl, like at the girl's house, like it was like actually really good for me, but like I didn't even leave once, not once. I left to go out on the porch once in the span of 3 months, and I stayed at his house. I left one time to go walk down the street for like no reason, just aimlessly down on like Everett WA, right? And like when I like was walking out, I was walking on the street, and like I remember like disassociating, right? Because I was like, what the fuck? Like the real world actually exists? And like my vision got all weird and like first world, and like it was so crazy, dude. And then like I realized like I don't have to fucking stay there, but it's like I have nowhere to go, I have no one to be with, so I guess I'll just fucking stay here. The next fucking day, this girl pulls up that came to go see him, right? And she sees what's going on here, she sees that I've been here, that like I've just been left there, and she's like, I want you to come with me, right? And I'm like, I'm coming with you. No doubts. And yeah, and then she actually kind of turned out to be like, our personalities clashed a lot, but like she kind of like led me to like meeting someone who I have now been in Seattle with for almost a year now, which was actually, like, now that I think about it, like the best thing that's ever happened to me in my life. You know, like it seems so like sad, but it's like I'm way happier than I was there.
Well, Star, I'm curious about the timeline. Let's see, how long, I don't know how old you are now.
I'm 20.
You're 20, so how long, so when you went with that woman, how long ago was that?
Her name, we'll just call her T. We'll call her T.
T?
Yeah. And
T.
when I was staying with T, I was... I haven't ever told like this stuff out in a timeline, so it's coming out really like mashed and jambled. I'm so sorry. This is oh my god.
It's fine. Totally okay.
Okay.
Well, I guess my question is, like, you know, when you got out of that situation, how long ago was that?
A little less than a year.
A year ago from now?
Not a year ago, but like a couple months less than a year. Like probably like anywhere from like 8 to 10 months.
So that, when you were in that guy's house?
Yeah, I was in his house for like
years?
2 months.
Oh, 2 months, got it.
Yeah.
So
not years.
That's not that long ago, in a sense.
Yeah.
But time is it's relative, I get it. But you went with her to Seattle? She drove to Seattle?
No, it was, we went to the Everett station trying to get somewhere. And the person that like I met and was down there, and we were like, we don't know how to get here. And he was like, yeah, sure, like I can take you there. And basically, in a way, like because he actually like gave me like a really like good vibe, and like she was getting really mad at me for no reason just because of like I guess who I was, and I didn't even know what I was doing. And she just seemed like really like angered by like little things that I would do, and I was like, okay, I'm going to grant you peace. You know, I'm gonna just go. And I chose to go with him, and he was pretty safe. It is actually like I said, the best choice. I've been like in the best, like actually like happy and like somewhat safe, as safe as you can be when you don't have a house.
Yeah. So your current situation, you're in Ballard?
Well, yeah, in Ballard, but we would jump between Greenwood and Ballard, you know, like, but always stayed in Greenwood and Ballard. You know, like maybe go and stay in Greenwood for a couple days, come back to Ballard a couple days.
Star, is there anything you'd like to communicate or say to the people of Seattle?
Like, I don't think like that the people that have more money, and like the kind of people that like scoff at when like there's someone that looks like they could be homeless, like that walks in the store, you know, it's like, yes, a lot of homeless people steal. Not every homeless person steals, but like I just like, for whatever reason, I just like wish I could tell like one of them this. It's like, when you go and steal, like, because you don't have any money, it's like, that's how you eat, that's how you get clothes, that's how you like survive. Like, you can't survive without clothes, food. Like, when you get a cut out here, it's so dirty that like it's gonna get infected in a second. Like, and so like infections are so common, and like they're so like, they can literally get so bad, dude. Like, I've had like an infection that like was really like concerning. Like, my belly button like piercing really like fell out, and like it like something like it got a little bit infected. It wasn't that bad, and so like I kind of just didn't put a bandage on it because I was like, oh, it's just a little like piercing infection, you know, like every other day. Right? That is worst choice ever. Worst choice. It like was literally like, it got so fucking swollen, like literally like and it was like actually really concerning because it was like on my stomach, like right by like my organs. You know? And back to the point, it's like everyone like has to eat at the end of the day, you know? And without eating, you will die. That's pretty simple. Like,
Basic human need.
And there's not people out here giving us food every single day, every single night. It's like, okay, if you want to like say that like we could just like take the shit that people are trying to give us, what about those other like 4 like like days and nights of like the week that like it isn't there? It's like, I don't know. I just want people to understand that yes, theft is like not good, but it's like everyone, like, at the end of the day, if anyone can survive, they're gonna survive, I guess. And it's not like, it's not personal. It's literally just like a, I don't know, man. I don't.
I appreciate your time. Thanks, Star, for sharing your story. I mean, that's a lot. It's a lot.
Pretty mishmash. Sorry about that.
Sorry. Don't be sorry. It's okay. All right, great. Let me grab that little mic.